don't have audio.
I'm muted. That's I am. I've been talking and didn't even realize I was muted. So to recap, the only wrestling podcast on the planet, going live immediately following Raw, AEW All Out 2021. Maybe we're not, but I'm going to claim it anyways. Joining me, Detective Mark Smarks, and also
hey
from up north, JLB.
Wow,
fucking jacked. Jacked.
Never have I been more excited to be on a podcast after a pay-per-view. Like, Jesus.
That's what you do.
I don't know. All I saw was a bunch of WWE has-beens.
Yeah, all they do is sign a bunch of old WWE people. And
that's for sure going to be something. Oh, I don't know necessarily about Adam Cole. They might give Brian Brian was injured. He left for so long. He doesn't have it in him. But you can't say that. I mean, you can't even say that about Brian. But, I mean, with Adam Cole, you can certainly not. WWE lost when they messed up his contract there. So,
well, they were going to lose him anyways. They just managed to set it up so they could be there
quicker.
Now.
Yeah. Yeah, instead of him having to wait for a while. I mean, we've talked before about a Lex Luger moment. This might be as close as we'll get.
But I think it maybe even surpasses the Lex Luger moment.
Oh.
I mean, I don't know. We all kind of knew. Yeah,
possibly. I mean, it comes down to a lot of things. The Lex Luger moment, the thing with the Lex Luger moment, I think it was bigger culturally because Lex Luger was considered a bigger star before he switched sides. Whereas Adam Cole being just in developmental does hold him back a bit from that. To me, it's definitely more. I'm going to pause really quickly to point out to JLB that I am getting that feedback again from your side. Like we were getting yesterday, so.
How? I'm not even using that mic now. Jesus, all right, give me a sec.
I was getting into it. I was like, where's this coming from?
Yeah.
Now do you guys hear it?
Well, let's see. Nope. Don't hear now. Nope,
I have to put echo cancellation now. It's so weird. All right.
I don't know what's going on, but
maybe
anyway.
That's why it was echoing, is because you didn't cancel the echo.
No. But I mean, I didn't do that before, and it's like the same setup. So pretty weird. Anyways, we're not here to talk about my mic setup. We are here to talk about AEW All Out, and they definitely went all out on this one.
Out.
All right, so I'm going to mark out, and I'm going to play the evil guy before we start doing all this other stuff. Miro, D-Bry, Adam Cole, Anderson and Gallows, a promo from Malachi Black, a promo from Andrade. There is an argument that WWE still has the most talented roster in the business, but they never fucking use them right.
No, we've 100% said that they've always had. They had the ability to hoard so much talent at the beginning, and then just not use them. But the problem is, you can only hoard for so long before things fall apart.
When was the Malachi Black promo?
Yeah, I don't remember it, but
right after the big shit, Paul White won.
There's a show. I used that match as a bathroom break, and then fast forwarded, which is something you can do on Fight. Pause and fast forward.
That was nice.
You can't do that on the PlayStation Network. You can't do that on the PlayStation Network. I was like, damn it.
Yeah, we're going.
I, however, paid the cheapest for All Out. Technically, everywhere else was $49.99. And PlayStation had $39.99. So I'm very impressed with myself.
So you paid less and couldn't pause and fast forward. So
I will go ahead and say, on the PlayStation Network, you can't go splitsies with somebody.
Yeah,
this is true. Sure I wanted to avoid the whole. Hey, bro, you want to share? No, fuckheads. I don't want to share. I want to watch it on my own network. You guys are
However,
sharing. I know you guys were good.
Smart move on Fight's behalf. It says 2 browsers at a time. That's it.
Yeah, 2.
Oh,
And there happens
smart.
to be 2 of us right here. One here and one right over there. And you can tell by our backgrounds. Yeah, you can tell by our backgrounds that we're right next to each other in the same buildings and stuff.
Yes, obviously.
Obviously, the same background. Oh, geez, I
The beard is done. The beard is done.
My 3-year-old is asleep. My 3-year-old is asleep, and I'm downstairs watching. And when Adam Cole's music hit, I had to stop myself from standing up in the room right underneath hers and go screaming, "It's Adam Cole, baby!"
I thought we were done with surprises. I really did. I was like, oh, well, okay.
That's what I'm like.
In fact, I expected him to super kick after he super kicked Jungle Boy. I really thought he was going to turn around and super kick Kenny.
Just be I'm on my own team.
Yeah,
I kind of thought that might too, but here's it was a bunch of surprises tonight, and we'll talk about all of them. I think we'll try to, but on top of it, it was surprise twist, another surprise, all in a row there at the end.
Yeah,
and I think a very important thing was said right at the end, and we'll talk more about this when we get to all the best because there's a lot for us to talk about. But
Right.
But when Kenny Omega says, "I'm going to do what I do best," and that's send them home happy, right? And that this is how you fucking do it. This is how you do it, right? I'm so fucking jacked. I mean, there were matches. We're going to do the worsts and the bests coming here. And in the worst, I'm sure we're going to talk about some matches that we thought were bad. But because of this ending, because of the way it ended and did that, I have no fucking complaints, right? I can overlook the bad because I'm so fucking stoked.
That's the thing. Going into even the last match, I was like, I don't know. There was a few even surprises before that, and I was like, okay, they were good, but did I overhype this? Am I just thinking it's too much? Yeah, I was going into that last match kind of like, okay, I think I've seen better AEW pay-per-views. And then all that happened, and I'm like, "Oh, okay. Well,
it was already top 3 AEW pay-per-views for me. It was, before that.
That cage match, just forget about it.
That was fire. I mean, you literally could have stopped this pay-per-view at before the Big Show match, before Paul White QT Marshall match.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it still would have been top 5 pay-per-view.
That would have been like, oh my god, that was a really great pay-per-view for this year. It was fantastic. Too bad there wasn't a world title match. Oh well.
Too bad there wasn't. Oh geez.
I mean, you could have ended this on CM Punk and Darby, and I'd have been like, yeah. I mean, that's sending me home happy with a handshake and the positive
good feelings and all of this stuff, and CM Punk back. I got
feel good vibes. Yeah, I'm good. Yeah. Oh, I can go to bed at a decent time. All right, cool.
No, you can't. You would still have a podcast to do.
but so before we get into talking about all of the stuff, all of the exact things that happened, I always take this time to remind everyone Raw and Order is part of the Tatnus Co podcast network. So you can head down to the doobly-doos down below and click the link to tatnusco.com.
Yeah,
and see all the other shows on there. If you are watching us live on the live stream immediately following AEW All Out 2021, thank you for joining us. If you're viewing us on one of the replays, we also appreciate you here. Make sure to click that like and subscribe button on whatever platform you're viewing it on so that you get notified when we go live. We go live every Sunday night and Tuesday night to talk the world of professional wrestling. And we'd love for you guys to join us on Facebook or YouTube for our live streams. But you can also watch us on the replays, or you can listen to the audio version of the podcast. And links are all down there in the doobly-doos there. But we do our reviews of wrestling shows a little bit different than most places. Instead of doing a match by match, this was the first match. What did you guys think? This is what happened. But we talk worsts. We get those out of the way, and then we talk bests, and we try to send you home happy by talking about the best there. So
calm down, Kenny Omega.
We're gonna get started with the worsts and the best. The worst match of the night.
I'll just say it.
Yeah,
it's Paul Wright.
Yeah, it's Paul White versus QT.
I was jacked. He looked great. It was how I expected that match to go.
Mm-hmm.
It sounds like I was the only one who stayed and watched it.
Yep.
And I mean, it was not a bad match. It was what I expected that match to be. And you know what? I was happy to see QT not only get his ass kicked, but see his boxer briefs poking out from under his wrestling briefs. Why do you wear boxer briefs under wrestling briefs, QT? That's a poor decision.
Because he sucks. You weren't here on our impromptu podcast last night, or our live stream. I said last night, I still firmly believe it. I think QT Marshall is an example of one of the rare missteps in AEW right now. I think they think he's getting real heel heat, but he's getting go away heat.
Yeah, he's getting X-Pac heat.
Yeah, and
I also think he might be a great trainer. Like,
oh yeah, 100%. I'm sure. In fact, looking at the people that AEW has picked up that were trained by the Nightmare Factory, including by him, they've all got talent. They've all got skill. They've all do well. He's a phenomenal trainer, and I'm not going to take that away from him. But as an on-air performer, he has go away heat. I don't want to see him on my TV anymore. It's not that I'm angry at him or I think he's such a bad guy or whatever. He's just boring. And I'm not invested in his character or his storyline at all. I just don't want to see him anymore.
Now, that said, there is an honorable mention, and I know that you two may not agree with this, but because I think most people will agree that that's the worst match of the night. The honorable mention, boy, this would not even be an honorable mention if the right person had won, but that battle royal, Ruby Soho should not have won coming back on her first back. Thunder Rosa should have had that win.
I don't disagree, but I don't agree either. It's kind of weird. I can't say I'm happy with Ruby Soho winning. I think Ruby Soho winning is a great way to establish her as a star in the thing.
Sure.
And all this stuff. And here's the deal: is the Thunder Rosa getting a match against Britt Baker? That's a slow burn thing that can last a long time. They can draw that out with some long-term booking. This is about hot-shotting someone there. I do have complaints with that match overall. The biggest and like. One of my complaints with that match is simply this. Sky Blue, who was the hometown hero, who came out in the first group and was, I believe, the first person eliminated.
Yeah, it was pretty quick.
It was really quickly. And that's, I didn't want her to win. I didn't expect her to last super long. But just from the hometown crowd, let her stay in there through a couple of eliminations.
At least an elimination.
Yeah, get her an elimination so she has this big moment or whatever, and then or something, or take out someone big on her way out. You know what I mean? To be a double elimination, something that was kind of my only like real complaint with it. Other than my traditional complaints about the Casino Battle Royal, which. We've talked about this on the previous previous time they've done this. There is a flaw in the 5-person at a time entry method. And I know what they're doing. I know why they're doing it. They want it to be something different than the traditional Royal Rumble sort of a thing. They want to give it their own spin, right? I get it. The problem is anytime you have 5 come out at once, the entrances get lost. Right?
Yes.
And for the first 2 rounds, or almost even 3 rounds of people coming in, they tried to focus on the entrance ramp so you could see each person coming in, but by the
they kind of stopped that.
But the third or fourth time, they didn't. Well, and it's because you started to have people come in all hot. They came in and ran straight to the ring and jumped right in. And at that point, you had to follow the action in the ring, and then you can't see the entrance.
But still
Red
set
Velvet
that up.
Spear on Jamie Hayter was gold.
Amazing.
I had some people at my house that were watching with me, and they go, "Oh my gosh, that little twig just speared her." I was like, "Yeah, that's great."
And so, yeah, there were some great moments in it and all that stuff. I also
thought Jade Cargill needed a little more featuring.
I would have preferred her to come out in an earlier round and clean house a little bit longer. Yeah. That being said, when she stepped into the ring, I literally pulled my phone out to Google how tall she is because she towered over everyone in the ring.
Everybody but Nyla.
And I know that women wrestlers aren't known for being particularly tall in the first place. And according to Wikipedia, she's 5'10", which is tall.
Pretty tall for a woman.
But not she was towering over there. I expected to
she
be
looks
6
tall.
foot.
That's my height. That's crazy.
That's what I expected it to show up at 6 foot. So, looks like we lost DFA for just a bit here.
One job,
but I think he clicked something on his and went to a different screen, so he'll be back.
One thing I did notice though, a lot of the fans were upset about Hikaru Shida losing very quickly, and also Swerve losing. So, I thought that was pretty neat and telling that, okay, these two are fan favorites, especially for Swerve. I knew Hikaru Shida was very popular, but to get that fan reaction and them ultimately really booing the place out once they got eliminated, I was like, okay, AEW, listen to your fans now. These people we want to see more of on TV and not just Elevation or...
The one that blew my mind was the Riho pop. I was like,
the Riho pop was surprising. Yeah,
I was like,
Riho pop was a little surprising. Yeah, the audience was in on Riho. But I mean, here's my thing: is they're telling a storyline with Hikaru Shida right now. They're telling it on Dark and Elevation, and I get it that not a lot of people watch it. Except here's the catch-22 on this. If you want a lot of people to watch Dark and Elevation, you have to tell storylines that aren't playing out on the regular TV. And so they're trying to do both right now. They're trying to let it play out on Dark and Elevation. I mean, she's on a nine match winning streak on Dark and Elevation. I mean, she's just killing it out there. She's also, they're telling the storyline where she's more vicious, and they sort of showed that in this while she was in the ring here too, where instead of trying to eliminate someone, she tried to tie up their arms in the ropes and hurt their arm. I can't remember exactly who it was. There's so much stuff happening at the time, but anyways, but that's, like I said, my complaint with the battle royal, the women's battle royal, is always the 5 people coming in at the same time. Entrances get lost, and so you don't get that pop that you get with the Royal Rumble, where count down to 0 and then music hits and oh my god, right? Because even if let's just say in the third group there was a big debut. Someone to the level of like Edge. So let's just say Lita, right? A huge wrestling legend, whatever, shows up in the third group, right? If she is the second or third or fourth person come out on that, you don't get that big pop because the crowd has already popped for the first person, and then the second person, they're like, yeah, but now we got to watch what's going on in the ring, and then the third person hits and like, what's going on? Oh, gee, oh, it's Lita, oh, gee. And so it muffles everything, right? And I, like I said, I understand what they're trying to do, and I can't fault them for it, but seriously, this hurts them on those. But anyways, we're talking worst match of the night, and I think we all agree it was Paul White versus QT Marshall.
Yeah. Probably by design.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I even texted you guys that this was the match I was looking forward to the least, but it was insidiously brilliant for them to do this because they knew the crowd was going to need a come down match after.
But that was like a 2-second match.
3 minutes and 10 seconds.
Yeah, it was decently long.
Okay.
Yeah, don't come at me. I got my facts out here. 3 minutes and 10 seconds. But so that's long enough for especially the people at home to use the bathroom, take your daughter up and put her in bed, things like that.
Not long enough to go get cigarettes at the Dep, apparently.
They ran a couple of vignettes around it. telling us the story for it. So
apparently they ran a Malachi Black one that I missed entirely. So, I mean, I did come back in time, because I paused it and I came back and I watched a bit and fast forward. I got to see the end with the knockout punch to Nick Camarado and the choke slam for the victory, and yay, Paul White won. And then I was like, okay, now get caught up.
The other thing that they did really well is they told us what match was going to be next, so you didn't go fast forward or run away from it or anything like that. And they were in the ring quickly. I mean, there was no 8 minutes between matches.
No. Well, they had 9 matches on the main card to get through. They knew that they had to
bust ass.
Just keep going, or else we'd still be watching, right? If they did WWE style entrances and vignettes in between and all of that stuff, we'd still be on the CM Punk match right now. So yeah, we all agree worst match of the night, QT Marshall. Worst wrestler of the night, probably, but I don't actually have that as a topic. So we're gonna move on to most predictable moment. And the sad thing is, for this show, most predictable might not actually be a bad thing, because predictable in some ways for this is not, doesn't necessarily mean boring. You could argue
the most predictable moment was Kenny Omega winning. I think we knew that was going to happen.
I think we all. I talked about it on the thing yesterday. I think they did a really good job of trying to tell the story that Christian Cage could win.
They did
setting it up by having him win the Impact Championship off of him, and so maybe he can win all of this stuff. But I think we all knew Christian Cage was not going to be the new AEW champion.
Yeah.
So that's a very good choice for it. But at the same point, like I said, not necessarily a bad thing. If they had made Christian Cage the new AEW champion, I think we would be less happy. Right?
Yes.
I like Christian Cage. I just don't want him as my AEW champion. Right?
I like him a lot as my Impact champion, in fact.
Yeah. He's great for that. Just, so
I think I wouldn't necessarily mind it, because Kenny Omega could go on his little break.
But in terms of most predictable, like I say, Kenny Omega is a pretty good choice for that. Big Show winning over QT Marshall, maybe. It being a short match is definitely predictable, but that's fine. That's what we wanted, You could say that the pop CM Punk got when his music hit was predictable, but you know what? I liked it.
Chicago.
I was happy. It was Chicago,
Him winning wasn't predictable at all.
Him winning wasn't. I talked about it.
I thought he was coming in on his back. I really did.
Yeah. I thought he was going to put Darby over. And here's the deal. He still did. He just didn't put him over by losing. You know what I mean? Because in the end, Darby still looks like a fucking rock star out of this. The handshake. I
loved that he just sat up to smile. Oh my god!
That moment, that I was like, that is perfect. That is so great. Just
so CM Punk
avoiding the coffin drop just by sitting up at the last minute. Yeah, exactly. Gotcha. It was so well done. So, but we're going to talk about the goods later. So, most predictable moment. I think those are good ones there.
JLB, what do you got?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I would most probably have to be cheesy and lame and go with the Kenny Omega one, because there wasn't really many predictable moments. I'll switch it up. I would maybe say Soho, because we were talking yesterday that he was saying Tessa Blanchard, so we got Tessa Blanchard in my head and talking about, oh no, it's going to be the New York show where she's coming. And then we did discuss that it was only 20 people in the Casino Battle Royale when we counted. And I'm like, man, Tessa's not a big enough. Well, maybe she is, but I don't know. I just said, man, she's definitely going AE dubs. This is a swerve. So I, honest to God, really thought it was going to be Soho at 21.
I wasn't going to be surprised if Soho showed up at some point, but the fact that she showed up in the Casino Battle Royal did kind of surprise me. So I can't put it there. Like I said, frankly, I really thought they were trying to save at least one big surprise for the New York show, and maybe that'll be the Tessa Blanchard surprise, or a different surprise altogether. Again, I don't have any insider knowledge that says Tessa Blanchard's coming. Right,
well, guys, clearly Braun Strowman's all elite. I mean, come on.
Yeah,
it's not Strowman, but Bray is still an option for New York.
Yeah, Bray makes sense.
When exactly is the New York show?
3 weeks.
Yeah, I think Bray might not be eligible.
An option yet?
Oh. Yeah, because I think it's October 30th or 31st that his no competes up.
Well, then he's an option for the next pay-per-view.
He's definitely an option for the next pay-per-view.
September 22nd. Yeah.
So that's just a couple weeks. And so, yeah, it's not going to be Bray for it. But again, there's still other surprises.
And New York, they can do teasers too.
Mm-hmm.
They can do red lights and people will know that they're talking Bray.
Yeah. They can do all sorts of fun stuff with teasing Bray, teasing others, because let's be honest, we know there's other people going to be signed, right? We know that. Whether it's Buddy Matthews or whether he goes to Impact, I don't know. Whether it's Braun or Bray or almost any of those. I mean, hell, I was a little surprised we didn't see Lana come out with Miro.
No, she was down to redeem his nuts after the event.
Yes, she sure was. He said, he tweeted out, "Ask and you shall be you shall receive. Your nuts have been redeemed." And she said, "And yours will be once you get home." Oh,
good old CJ.
Thank you, CJ Perry.
So I think we all agree Kenny Omega winning was probably the most predictable moment, but not necessarily the worst moment, because I think it was the right move. So.
It was fine. It was a good match. It was a good match. It didn't make Christian look like a wimp or anything like that. Really spot. I'm surprised. I guess they just throw the rule book whenever they want out of the window. Was this a street fight match, or is it just supposed to be a regular matchup?
Just a regular matchup, but
you can use tables, but no one could come in and interfere, or else they're going to get disqualified.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Like
AEW has always played a little loose with the tables rule, but
here's another predictable one: MJF actually cheating.
Yeah, he did cheat. Although that had an unpredictable moment to it. That was the what do they call it? The dusty finish, they call it. Where one person wins and then it turns out they didn't win for whatever reason. It's going to be interesting to see if they go to that well more, or if that's kind of a one-off thing.
I hope they do. It kind
would be
of
nice.
refreshing that they do that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So, but we're going to move on. We're going to move on to the next one here, the botch of the night. I'm going to go ahead and put mine out there. The botch of the night for me is whoever gimmicked that table for the Christian spear that stabbed Christian. Jesus, that could have been a lot worse than it ended up being. I mean, it looks like Christian just got an abrasion, or maybe a small gash from it. But I mean, that literally came through. I mean, that could have hit his kidney, or ruptured his spleen. I don't even know what a spleen does. I'm no doctor. I'm a detective. But I know rupturing it's bad.
I mean, to be fair, you are a detective. You should kind of know how the body works and so on.
Nope. That's not what detectives do.
They examine the body.
We leave that to the MEs.
Oh, okay, fine.
To the MEs.
Haven't you ever watched CSI? The detective just come in and say, "What do you think happened here?" And the CSI
I've watched CSI Miami, so I always have to hear a ratio. Looks like it's a cold case. So I got really bad investigation.
That was potentially the worst CSI Miami I've ever heard. That being the second worst. But so to me, botch of the night is whoever gimmicked that table. Probably secondary botch of the night though would be in that same match, but it was brilliantly handled when Kenny Omega tried to do the moonsault off of the
oh man, he must have hurt his ass so badly, like he
and
fell
slipped
right
forward. But he covered for it so well, and then was able to turn it into actually a more impressive move afterwards. What he finally hit was actually way more fun to watch because he had to jump up, twist around, and then hit the moonsault. But so what do you guys got for botch of the night?
I'm gonna go with Chris Statlander's suplex that she still ended up pulling off.
That had the potential to be a really bad botch.
Yes.
And just the power that she had was the only thing that saved it from being potentially catastrophic. Yes. But it's also really impressive that she was able to
save that
and turn it around. And that shows, I mean, that's part of why I liked Chris Statlander from the beginning, is she's got power for her size. She's not like Jade Cargill, like ripped, jacked sort of, but she's got a lot of power in those legs, so, and arms. So
that match is seemingly forgettable for me, though. It's not necessarily because it was a bad match. It's just because there was so much afterwards that was really good, and
we're gonna get a lot of that tonight. I mean,
that's kind of the downside with the way this ended. Is the last 10 minutes of the show put a haze over everything else of how good they were. But that's the way it was, you know.
I mean, if you were given A through F scores to all of the matches, one of them's an F, the rest are A's, meaning that you're going to forget things like stuff that happened in the Miro match, things that happened in the MJF Jericho match, which was fucking fire. You're going to forget parts of the Britt Baker versus Statlander match.
Yeah, you're going to forget parts of the Moxley versus Kojima match.
Yeah.
Which was a good match, and then featured.
I didn't know who this guy was. I know you figured you would, but Suzuki, Menorah over there.
Yeah, Menorah Suzuki.
There you go.
Look up some of his shit from New Japan, and
you're gonna watch Wednesday.
Yeah, there is a reason. There is a reason that Jon Moxley looked scared in the ring. That's the first time we've seen Jon Moxley look scared in an AEW ring. That's an important thing. Storyline wise, at least.
Botch of the night would have to be, for me, the fact that they didn't even mention that Moxley was the GCW champion or had just won it. They named all his accomplishments
his
and
sweatshirt.
Then he was wearing a GCW sweatshirt.
So what? They didn't mention anything. I'm talking to the announcers.
Well, okay, so there might be a little bit behind the scenes to play into that. They don't technically have a partnership with GCW, right?
No, I get it, but your AEW star is
true.
I don't know.
True, but at the same, like I said, because they don't have a partnership, there might actually be legal ramifications for talking about it, right? Without a partnership mentioning it, that's why he didn't carry the belt. Probably it's because there's likeness rights to those belts, you know. So
yeah, especially spinner ones that actually belong to.
I don't see GCW being like, "Hey, I'm gonna sue you guys." No.
I don't think they necessarily would, but in the end, they might not have a choice. Because here's the thing with trademarks: you have to enforce them to continue to have them, right? Right. It's why Kleenex sends out cease and desist letters if you refer to facial tissues as Kleenex, right? Because they have to enforce their trademark, or else they lose their trademark. And so GCW might not want to. GCW probably would be totally happy with the idea of their champion showing. I get that. But from a trademark, without having an official partnership, they may be locked in and have to do something. It also is just a business thing from an AEW standpoint. Listen, if you want us to talk about your champion on our show, you have to play ball with us, right?
I get it. Yeah.
Side note. Is our county attorney prepared for the lawsuit or the cease and desist order that we're going to get from you just now talking about?
Kleenex?
Kleenex?
No, because I specifically referred to Kleenex as their own brand, and I said you can't refer to facial tissues as Kleenex. So I was...
All right, just making sure.
Our district attorney, our legal team might have to worry about Sasha Bear. at some point. So just saying, if you want a Sasha Bear t-shirt, they're up right now on shop.spreadshirt.com. Draw and order.
Get
WBU.
it first.
Get it before we get
it first and last. Exactly.
Yes.
Because it's coming from WWE and
it could come from either side.
From Warner Brothers. Hanna-Barbera, that's what it is.
Yeah, it could come from either side or both. So do it fast. That being said, I don't care. I literally don't care if I'm the only one who ever buys that shirt, because that shirt makes me giggle nonstop when I look at it. I love that shirt so much. Anyway, so Botch of the Night, we've got a bunch of different options, but I don't know, none of them were like botches. Like there really wasn't a huge botch.
There was stuff that was sold as a botch that wasn't actually a botch.
Yeah.
I actually thought Darby had hit his head on the steps when he went through the ring, through the ropes and hit the ring
and
post.
Then he fell out. Okay,
yeah. I was like, that's the botch.
It seemed too precise though for that to be a botch.
Yes. There were moments in the tag match in the cage, there were things that could have been botches, but they covered for them so well. I'm never a fan of I'm tearing off the luchador mask spot. I just don't like it. So for me, that's kind of a botchy thing. But it's not technically a botch.
Was the turnbuckle supposed to rip off in the Miro match? I know they used it. I feel like that maybe was a botch. Yeah.
I don't think it was supposed to come all the way off. And I think that's
supposed to get exposed.
I think it was supposed to get exposed, and then Bryce Remsburg was supposed to go over and try to fix it and still miss that count. So I think that part was there. I just don't think
the first one was a botch. The timekeeper thing? The first one. So there was a second one where he was beside the ropes and he was trying to fix that or whatever. But the first one where Kingston was counting him, and then the referee wasn't there, and the announcers were like, "Oh, he went to go see the timekeeper." I was like, when does he go see who? When does a referee go and check on the time? Hey, how much time is left? The match is still going on. When they're down, you can do that. It was a bit silly to me. I thought it was going to turn into some kind of Miro hired the ref and whatever. It's going to be like a Nick Patrick thing from WCW days or something.
Well, it might come in. I mean, I don't know. WWE
the Elite is built around NWO, so
yeah. Well, and WWE has done a lot over the years of trying to remove the referee's name from the game, right? So the current round of referees, we really don't storyline wise know their names. They're just referees because WWE doesn't want them to be part of this. AEW has been going the opposite way. Every single one of their referees has a name that we know, and they've got storylines built into them. Aubrey is the one that we all like, and she's super, nice and fun, and she's helping design the video games, and she does some great facials in the ring when people are doing things, And so Bryce Remsburg
could have been something different.
Bryce Remsburg obviously is the one who's the fuck up. I think that's the storyline they're telling with him right now. But so it might be coming. It might end up with the Elite having the ref in their pocket storyline. I don't know.
But it's Miro.
Well,
this is not
I'm saying
a different referee.
I'm just saying a different referee. The storyline could still be coming. The ref in their pocket thing. Yeah. But we're gonna move on to Overhype of the night. We're trying to rush through a bunch of these worsts because I want to get to the best because we're gonna have a lot to talk about with the best. So, Overhype of the night. Was there one?
You know what? The fact that they talked about the QT and and Paul Wright match as much as they did, that's kind of an overhype.
That's probably the closest thing I can get. I mean, I don't know. That's the only one I got.
I was gonna say CM Punk and Darby for the first half of that match because the first half of that match was extremely boring. It was a lot of
disagree
wrist locks and whatever.
It was a wrestler showing a talented, high-speed human being how to be a wrestler.
Mm-hmm.
No, I got it.
It was storyline. Yes, it was slower, but this is storyline. They were telling a story in the ring of a wrestler who hasn't wrestled a competitive match in 7 years.
Scouting his opponent.
Knowing that his opponent wins by speed and brutality, and slowing that speed and brutality down to take that advantage away. But also, like I said, telling the storyline of I haven't wrestled in 7 years. I've got to figure out if I still have it in me. I've still got to get my sea legs underneath me. All of that stuff. There's a storyline they were telling the entire time with that, and I liked it. I understand that the first part of the match wasn't super exciting, but that was by design. And
it was just too long for me. I think was my thing. Like, sure, and I get that, understandable, 7 years, but it was just like, okay, guys.
Well, anything more than 4 inches is probably too long for you, so I get it.
Again, another conversation. Just So yeah, I'm gonna have to go with. In terms of overhype, yeah, I don't know. I guess the Big Show thing, because they did spend a lot of time on that. I'll agree with that. Very interesting that they put it as the co-main event, though.
Again, I think that was by design as well, and I think it was actually brilliant because, again, when putting together the flow for a show like this, you have to understand that after a big emotional match, the audience needs a come down. They need some time and that's where I think.
But then, like a 3-minute only calm down, like because I'm like, okay, this match is going to be maybe 5-10 minutes.
What other match would you put as the come down? I'm literally tell me which other match from this show you would have put as the come down in between CM Punk and Kenny Omega.
Maybe the Miro match.
You want that as the come down match?
Could be the come down match.
I would not put that as the come down match. That's a match that's got emotion built into it. That's a match that the fans are invested in, especially after the Redeem D's nuts moment, right? Before that, maybe, but after that, no. I mean, there's no way I would have put that match as a come down match. The only other match that I could have maybe seen as a come down match would have been the Kojima Moxley match. But even that,
even then, and then with the surprise there,
with the surprise at the end. So again, name a different match on this card that you would have put as the come down match after the CM Punk match.
That's what I'm saying. That's the only one I could say. The other matches you couldn't. It's definitely not going to be the steel cage. It's maybe the Britt Baker match. That would have been a tad more calm.
You're just not allowed to talk anymore.
Yeah, that's the deal.
It's not going to be MJF Jericho.
Right. But that's what I'm saying. He needs me to pick a match, right? So
and so I'm telling you that this is an impossible situation. The only match that you could put as the come down match there is Paul White versus QT Marshall, right? That's it. That's the only one you could put there.
No, I just thought
so the only thing you could have done different would put CM Punk earlier in the show.
That's it.
But why would you have done that?
Come down.
Yeah, then you know, this emotional buildup would have fizzled earlier in the show, and then you don't have that. So you can't do that. I mean, it was brilliant on their part. I'm the first to admit it's a match I didn't want to see. I said yesterday, I don't care to see it. I'm gonna probably use the restroom, and I did go use the restroom. But it was the perfect placement for that match. There was no other place.
Who was after the cage?
Right after the cage was the Battle Royal.
Okay.
And to be perfectly honest, that was probably the best placement for it. I would have probably put the Battle Royal as the first match of the night, me personally. But I think they wanted to tell a storyline. I think it's important for them because they wanted to tell the Britt Baker match first, so that they could, during the Battle Royal, be like, winner of this gets to face Britt Baker, instead of winner of this gets to face the winner of the Britt Baker match. You know, the match later. So I think they wanted to have the Britt Baker match over first, which means you have to put the Battle Royal someplace else. And, going after that cage match is not a good place for anything. But for a Battle Royal, the nice thing with that is it's really like
some time.
Well, yeah, it was a 22-minute long match. And it allows there to be that come down through the first 10 people in there. And then you can build it up. And they did really well with the Joker. So
I'll change mine. I won't make it big or Paul Wright. The overhype of the night is Christian Cage himself, because he didn't win and he just won a world title in Impact. And so, yeah, he's the overhype of the night.
He's got a point. I'm still going with Paul.
It's not right, but it's. I mean, there just wasn't everything lived up to what it was expected to be.
Yep, for the most part, it did. And it's even the Paul White versus QT Marshall match lived up to what it was
expected to be. Yeah,
it was what it was. That's what we expected it to be. So we're gonna move on to worst performance of the night. I think we can say the Paul White QT Marshall match was the worst overall performance of the night.
Nope,
but that's not a bad thing.
Wardlow.
I guess, yeah, you could say, since it's not specifically in a match, Wardlow making it halfway down the ramp and then getting taken out by Jake Hager.
They didn't get taken out. They were fighting all the way to the back, no?
Yep. With no conclusion.
With no conclusion. We didn't find out who won. We didn't find out.
We're going to stop fighting at the ring. And
the referee stopped
them back to the back.
Yeah, but the referees apparently stopped them.
You and really think
I guess we'll find out on Dynamite.
Those two?
Well, they mentioned you need cops or something. Someone mentioned, you need cops to break that up.
So then have a storyline where you go to the back and the cops are arresting both of them, right? It's not like we haven't seen cops arrest people in wrestling before, right? You've got a bunch of Nightmare Factory people, put them in cop costumes and say, go handcuff these two people and say, we're taking you off to jail, and you then go back to the ring. But
there you go.
But yeah, so but go through any of the other matches, you can't really say there was a worst performance in any of them. I guess Rebel's performance in the Battle Royal wasn't particularly,
it's a valid point,
notable.
I liked her tights though. Her ring attire was nice. I was like, that's
her. I feel bad saying this because I know she had skills. At one point, she was in Impact or TNA Knockouts division, but she's basically a non-factor in AEW, aside from being Britt Baker's hype man, sort of a thing. And so that's a spot that I would have preferred to see another wrestler in, right? I mean, there are tons of independent wrestlers that they've had on AEW Dark that they could have thrown in there. This last couple weeks, a couple of the wrestlers from Zello Pro have been on Dark and Dark Elevation, like Laney Luck and Heather Reckless have been on the both. Just throw one of them in there instead of Rebel, and she can do the same sort of stuff and then get let out, and it would be, I don't know, a little bit more. We're going to move on to worst move.
Worst move.
The table going through Christian's stomach.
Spine, yeah.
Yeah, that's a pretty bad move. This would be a good spot for the almost botch Chris Statlander had. Because even though she saved it, it was ugly.
It wasn't pretty. It wasn't pretty. There was one where MJF did the backflip off the apron, but he still caught himself and he just missed. I mean, that was by design. So
yeah.
This is the one I'll give. MJF looking concerned that Jericho was going to miss the lion salt when he has this faux injury of his back, jumping up and then going, oh, nope, he's going to hit it and laying back down. Good professionalism. Also, you ruined my ability to believe that Jericho was going to hit that move, and he did hit that move.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if you guys caught that, but he went up and then laid back down.
Yeah, I didn't catch it, but I believe you, and so we'll put that in the category for worst moves. I'll put my nomination is the same thing I mentioned before, having Sky Blue lose so early or in the Battle Royal. I think that was a bad move on Booking's part. That was the worst move. Again, not because I wanted her to win. There's no way she was going to win. She's an independent wrestler, not signed to AEW, who got that role mostly because she's a local and they needed someone to replace Julia Hart at the last minute. So they gave it to her. But she's a hometown hero sort of one. Let her last a while before you have her out. Give her that big hometown hero pop and everything. So that'd be my nomination for worst move.
My nomination for worst move, it's obviously no secret that I'm not a fan of how they portrayed the majority of the women's division in AEW. So just how they really treated a lot of the superstars in the Casino Battle Royale. I do get that it is a Battle Royale, but again, you make Nia so strong all the time. And it's just kind of ridiculous. I felt Nia should have had left earlier. Jade maybe should have knocked her out. They should have had done something there. I think they even had a few spots
with Nyla. I'm going to correct you with Nyla. Nia wrestles for the
Oh, excuse me. Nyla.
I bet. I was like, dude, I missed an introduction. Holy cow.
Was there something happen I didn't see? No, I mean...
Simone dropped everybody on Monday night.
Yeah. They announced her for a match tomorrow. This is crazy. That is the Lex Luger moment. I missed it. It's going to be a double Lex Luger moment because she'll show up back up tomorrow.
It's freaking Rick Rude.
It's Rick Rude.
Who is she injuring tomorrow?
She's got a match against Charlotte tomorrow.
So was that an actual shoot or was that like a work shoot?
I think it was an actual shoot that they're working into a work shoot. I think legitimately they, and this is going into WWE territory on the AEW show, but I think legitimately Charlotte got chippy with Nia because Nia hit her stiffly with something, and so there were some stiff blows thrown back and forth, and then eventually they were able to get back on the right page and finish the match more or less the way it was originally scheduled to finish. But reports have it backstage they cooled off and everything was fine. So anyways, right, the final of the worst moment of the night.
Jericho's entrance.
Crowd wasn't really good at the singing along, and the guitar player was not
way too loud.
The guitar player overshadowed the crowd. Either play the song, and I don't give a rip if you have all of Fozzy there, and Jericho sings it, and the crowd sings it along with him. But when you have a guitar play the vocal riff, and then it overshadows the crowd singing the vocal riff,
and the was too loud. I'm no musician, and I know that's the actual guitarist from Fozzy and everything, but he was bad at playing that.
It's because it's the vocal riff. He doesn't play the vocal riff normally. He plays the guitar riff.
He should be better at playing it.
That's true. Well, he should have practiced more.
Yeah, and so it really wasn't. And the sad thing is, they had some really phenomenal entrances tonight. And Jericho's just wasn't one of them. No. However, it was during that entrance that I had an epiphany, and I said, "This is how I know Jericho's going to still win." Hearing that played, and then seeing how much they covered the crowd singing along to it, I was like, they are not ready. AEW's not ready to let that moment go. They want to continue to have the crowd sings along to Jericho.
Again,
and if he stops being an active wrestler, they can't do that as much anymore.
I had house guests, as I mentioned, for this. Those house guests knew the Jericho song, knew the Fozzy song, and said, "Oh my gosh, he comes out to Judas." And I went, "You don't watch this enough." Yes, he comes out to Judas, and explained the MJF making him come out to no music at all, so the audience played the entire song.
Was epic. That should have been on for the pay-per-view.
So hearing them cover the audience is when I knew that they're not letting this go yet, right? No. They're going to milk that horse until it's dead. And
I just knew that. Sure I just knew that because of the botch playing, technically by the guitar player. I'm like, Jericho, this can't be your last time, bro. This entrance is garbage.
But yeah, just the simple fact that they had the crowd singing, I was like, yep, they're not ready to let this go. They're gonna, he's gonna go on tour, he's gonna disappear for a while, but then he's gonna come back, and they want to have that pop when his music hits and the crowd starts singing. They want that no matter what. So they weren't going to let him lose. They did, however, give us a little rope-a-dope on it by making it look like he lost for a bit.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, but that was not a worst moment. It would have been had he lost.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean,
Here's the deal. I think part of what plays into that is MJF, if you weren't a dick all the time, matches could be final, but two referees that think you're a dick decided it wasn't.
Exactly. So unless anyone else has another worst moment to nominate.
No, I hands down that guitar work on.
Yeah,
it felt like Rick Boogs doing it poorly for Shinsuke.
Yeah,
I was like, first off, you feel like you're trying to copy Rick Boogs. That is not a copyable story. And second of all, it wasn't good.
So I did hear something about Rick Boogs. It turns out that they asked him to play guitar for Nakamura, and he has not played guitar in like 12 years. He used to play guitar, but he had not picked up a guitar in 12 years. And they said, "Hey, can you go play guitar for Nakamura on his way to the ring on SmackDown?"
And he said, "Let me learn the riff."
Let me learn the riff, I guess. So we're finally to the best. This is where we're gonna have fun. So what was the best moment of the night for you?
Oh, there's so many.
Oh yeah,
Adam Cole, Bryan Danielson.
Yeah, we knew Bryan Danielson was coming. For me, the feel-good moment was Jericho winning. But the best moment was the handshake at the end of the CM Punk match. The three of them shaking hands, honoring each other, seeing sportsmanship in a sport that isn't really a sport, and we all know that, but seeing them honor each other at the end of the match, that was my feel-good moment. Second on that was Jericho saving his career.
Yeah. For me, I'm Adam Cole. That one, it was like Adam Cole, and then Bryan Danielson, which is important to note. I've talked before how I'm not a huge Bryan Danielson fan, but both of those were moments of the night, and for a very similar reason. But
that twist, Adam Cole comes out.
Yeah,
boom, he's gonna help. Nope.
Yeah, I can't, in good faith, not nominate it as best moment of the night when it is the moment that I literally stood up from my couch. Like, I watched the rest of the show and I was excited. I was like, yeah, this is good and everything. And then that music hit and I went, boom, up.
Adam Cole, baby.
Adam Cole,
except for you couldn't yell it.
Yeah, I couldn't. I had to say it really quiet.
I'm surprised he's allowed to use baby.
He used it in Ring of Honor before he went there.
I'm just shocked WWE wasn't like, hey, we're going to trademark this.
I would expect that he had it trademarked from Ring of Honor because he had T-shirts that said Adam Cole Baby before then.
Oh.
So.
Okay. Fair.
I bet you had prior trademarks to it. So, nice. But for me, like I said, there were other moments that could be up there. Like I liked Ruby Soho's debut. I liked the fact that she won. I was stoked for it. If the night had ended there, I would have put that as best moment of the night. But it didn't end there. There were lots of matches after that. There were 4. And almost every one of them
winning the title.
That was a good
the jump in the Lucha Bros match off the top of the cage.
I was literally before like 30 seconds before that saying, how did we get this far in a Lucha Brothers versus Young Bucks match in a cage and no one has jumped off the top yet? And then like 20 seconds later, Penta points to the top. And I was like, oh, here's it coming. It's coming.
Here's Smart. Hold my beer.
Yeah.
The Matt Jackson and Penta Ciro Miro moment where they both performed one on the other's younger brother.
Pretty cool. Yep.
That was a good moment. And this is a good point for us to mention Menorah Suzuki. That was a moment. That was a moment and a half. And I know JLB doesn't follow New Japan at all. So for him, it wasn't a moment. I'm not even like huge into New Japan. I follow it a bit here and there, but
you know him.
But I know him, and like he's the one that comes out and beats the shit out of everybody. And
so he's the New Japan Moxley.
He's the New Japan Nick Gage.
Okay.
In fact, Nick Gage would probably act scared to face Menorah Suzuki.
Oh wow. Okay.
He is the considered the baddest Mama Jamma.
He doesn't need somebody to give him a tack shoe. He wears tack shoes.
Yeah. He's
with the tacks pointing in, so he knows exactly how much pain he caused.
Yes.
That's another thing. Why is the shoe gonna hurt when all the tacks are already inside the shoe?
No, they were glued on, pointing out.
Yeah. Oh, were they? Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
They were glued on, pointing out like spikes.
Okay.
That being said, when you know physics, yeah, they did make some blood. But when you know physics, you know that like if there's a bed of nails and you go flat against it, it doesn't penetrate as well. So
as one nail,
versus one nail. But I mean, you know, Penta was already bleeding before that came out, and then just more from that. But it was like every single match except for the QT Marshall match had a moment that could be nominated as best moment of the night. Eddie Kingston getting out of the game over.
Yeah. Yep.
There were legitimately moments in that match that I thought, are they going to put the belt on Eddie Kingston? I didn't think that before the match. So they told that story well. The Moxley versus Kojima match was a good match. It was a match that we expected. No best moment in that, but immediately following it, when Suzuki showed up, potential best moment. The Britt Baker match versus Chris Statlander had moments in it, but the ending of it, potential best moment option, right? Where Britt Baker had to hit 3 moves.
Panama or Pittsburgh Sunrise, Stomp, and then
Stomp,
she was able to do
and then the thing.
Dude,
but it was
her Stomp is
Sunrise.
so much better than Seth Rollins. Oh my god!
she did it off the top or off the ring apron.
Mm-hmm.
I was
but she's just taller. She's just taller, so it just looks more like badass. She's like really lifting her foot, like bam.
Yeah. Well, I think they just allow it to. I think WWE makes Seth Rollins deliver it a little bit tamer because they don't want it to be. I mean, it's the same reason they don't allow their commentators to call it a curb stomp. It's just a stomp, the stomp.
Right.
But so I mean, that's a big moment there, potential best moment. You know that not only did Chris Statlander take a stomp earlier on the outside, she took a Pittsburgh Sunset, and then a stomp, and kicked out of both of them, and then it was the lockjaw to win,
and passed out to the lockjaw.
Mm-hmm. So, and I gotta mention another potential best moment: Orange Cassidy yelling.
Yes, yeah, that was great.
I love
during the match. Yeah,
during the match.
Holy crap!
He's like,
get your ass up and get in that ring.
Get your ass up! And so you could tell that he didn't want to do it, but he was so frustrated he had to. It was so great there. But in the end, I think we all have something that could be a best moment. For me, I cannot not nominate Adam Cole because it was the one moment that got me up off my ass, literally. And
that was the surprise that we didn't know.
That's part of it is because I was sitting there going, okay, we're gonna hear Ride of the Valkyries. We're gonna hear Ride of the Valkyries. We're gonna hear Ride of the Valkyries, and then it's not Ride of the Valkyries.
The lights go out, and you're like, it's gonna be Ride of the Valkyries.
Ride of the Valkyries, and then it's not Ride of the Valkyries. And it took me a moment to recognize, because of course we've never heard that particular song before. But then it says Adam Cole, and I'm like, God, Adam Cole, baby. And I was so stoked. And then, like JLB said, the swerve. He gets in the ring. There's a face-off. There's jaw-jacking between him and Kenny Omega.
Because, bro, at the same time, I want to see Adam Cole versus Kenny Omega. So I hope this is not like a long-term, I'm all elite with you guys forever.
Oh, no. The elite has two leaders now. It will cause a breakdown.
Yeah, it's going to cause a breakdown. And eventually it's going to be probably one of these things where
Matt and Nick will join up with Adam Cole, and the other two, Anderson and Gallows, will stay with Omega.
Potentially. Or, quite frankly, a reverse Bullet Club. Where the leader, and actually it's technically the Bullet Club thing, whether it was Finn Balor when he was leading, or Kenny Omega when he was getting ready to take over leadership. It's all based around, AJ Styles. The people turn on him. When they show weakness, the Bullet Club turns on him. And that's what's going to happen. Omega loses the belt and shows weakness. And then Adam Cole will turn on him. And, you've shown weakness. You're no longer elite. Get out.
Snap. Okay.
And so they told this whole story with Cody for 2 years in Ring of Honor and New Japan, where Cody is going to take over the Bullet Club, and that's going to be the storyline I think they tell with Adam Cole eventually. But it's going to be a slow burn because, again, AEW likes to tell these longer storylines. This is not going to be a 2 weeks from now Adam Cole turns on Kenny Omega. This is going to be 6 months from now. It happened.
Yeah.
And it will feel like Adam Cole's been there for 6 years. I just realized it hasn't been a year that Omega's had the title, but it sure as hell feels like it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it feels like just yesterday Roman won the title. And I don't understand how that's working like that, but it does.
So we're going to move on to breakout star of the night.
Adam Cole, baby.
Adam Cole, baby. Ruby Soho for winning.
Yeah.
I don't know. Darby Allin, you can't call him a breakout star because he's been such a big star in AEW for so long. but even in defeat, still looking like a rock star. And then getting the seal of approval from CM Punk afterwards, that's a potential thing. Can we call the Lucha Brothers breakout star because they finally won the tag titles, I guess?
I guess, but I mean, they're legends already. It was just long overdue.
Exactly. I mean, I don't know. I mean, you could make an argument for Eddie Kingston's breakout star of the night because he put on a match better than we've seen from him in AEW.
Yeah,
that's valid. Whatever happened with All Ego there? They did a whole thing on buy-in. Like, we're going to go and hurt someone tonight. And they don't hurt anyone.
As far as I remember, they didn't do anything. I didn't see him do anything. Well, the whole thing was because they were up with, what's his fuck, the UFC guy.
Right. What's his fuck? That's his name.
That's his name from now on.
Yep. What's his fuck?
I'll ever call him. What's his fuck? And I'm sure they're just going to continue to tell that story on Dynamite.
Yeah, but they made it seem like they were going to do something at All Out. So that's where I was kind of like, okay, I haven't seen them throughout the entire show. Is Adam Cole going to come out with them kind of thing and make them like the new Undisputed Era or something? You know, I don't know. I was thinking towards that because I'm like, well, they promised they'd come out. So I'm like, they haven't showed up yet. But, you know, I guess no more time. I don't know.
Who knows? But geez, there's so many potential breakout stars, but I'm
gonna choose Adam Cole.
Yeah, Adam. I mean, I guess I'll go with Ruby Soho, if only because she actually wrestled and won a match, won a thing. That's a breakout star moment.
I didn't see enough of her for her to be a breakout star. I can't choose her in a battle royal. I don't know. Like it was fine. It's just I didn't really see a whole lot. I'd honestly probably go with Orange Cassidy. I thought Orange Cassidy was that the buy-in match?
He was on the buy-in. Best Friends and Jurassic Express versus HFO.
That's it. That match was fire. Like genius for putting that as a buy-in because really
especially since they basically threw it together in the last day.
That's it.
You know, or so.
Which is crazy because then why didn't you guys use 2.0? Bastards.
It simply, I've got to be honest, because of how fast they threw it together, it simply might have been getting them there.
No, it's valid. Yeah.
Because if they traveled back home to Montreal, right, and then we need you for the kickoff show on Sunday. Traveling back to America in COVID times might have been something too hard for them to do, but
that's valid. Yeah,
but yeah, I mean, Adam Cole's a good thing. I'm just gonna go different and say Ruby Soho because they brought her in and they presented her as a star right from the beginning. And in my mind, that makes her a bigger breakout because she was presented as a star that she never was presented as in AEW or in WWE, right off the bat. Whereas both Adam Cole and Bryan Danielson were presented as stars in WWE at one point or another,
right?
And so I guess that
however, argument could be made for Miro too, though.
Could be made for Miro. He came out and he had a performance that was probably better than we've seen from him in AEW, if only because it was against a higher caliber. It wasn't Fuego, you know. Love Fuego. He's pointing to us on the thumbnail for this because Fuego's my boy.
There you go.
But so I'm just going with Ruby for that. But let's move on to best performance of the night.
Wow.
Lucha Brothers and Young Bucks. That's what I'm going. That match, fire. I know they all can go really well anyways, but man, they really laid it all out there. And
All out. I get what you did there.
I didn't even mean to. I legit. I'm like, what do you? I'm like, oh yeah, okay.
They went all out.
I did that before when I lost electricity, and I'm like, oh, I guess my electricity is all out. I might not be able to watch it. That I meant, but
for me, I'm gonna go to the unfortunate thing is we're gonna say Mr. Bebe's name too often. I think tonight, for best performance, jaw jacking with Kenny Omega before super kicking Jungle Boy. Best performance right there because I didn't see it coming. Right, I thought he was coming in as the savior character who's gonna then face off with Kenny Omega and be angry because of what they did to him before and betrayal and all of that stuff. And then he super kicks Jungle Boy off the ground.
Genius that they did that though, because I don't think you can make Adam Cole a good guy.
I don't think you can in the end, but I was seeing him more as a stone cold tweener. You know, not necessarily good guy, but against Kenny Omega. But anyways, but that's why it's best performance for me because I bought into it.
Fair.
At the beginning. I was like, whoa, he's coming in. And then, I mean, this was almost, but not quite to Finn Balor kicking Johnny Gargano in the face level.
That's why I was hoping for the double turn.
Yeah. I would have liked to have seen double turn as well, but that's because I didn't know the next surprise that they had.
Yeah.
Or like I guess we knew the next surprise. I just kind of when Adam Cole's music hit, I assumed that they changed their plans, right? I said, "Oh, well, it looks like they're going to save Bryan Danielson for another show." You know?
So that's the thing too. I don't know if it was too much, but as soon as Cole did the super kick to Jungle Boy, I was like, okay, there's going to be something else. I don't know. Like I just got this vibe because they were still waiting too long, and I'm like, okay, there has to be something else. I'm like, it has to be Brian. Like, who else is it going to be? You know?
Nope, I didn't see it coming. I at that moment I thought they were doing an NWO rules the roost angle at the end.
Okay,
which is something WCW did a lot, where the bad guys win in the end of the pay-per-view and stand tall, and then Kenny Omega when he started to do the I'm gonna send him home happy, good night and good luck bang thing. I thought that was gonna be the way it ended. I thought they'd just change their mind with Bryan Danielson. They were gonna bring him out at Dynamite or some other time.
A lot of people on Twitter are complaining about that, though. They're saying it was probably a bit too much, and they could have saved one for another.
No, nope. It was perfect. It was
good. It was well done.
Chef's kiss, perfect for me.
We will know Wednesday whether or not that was the best move or not. If their numbers don't go up by 1 million viewers, I will be astonished.
Go up by 1 million?
Yes. It's nearly doubling.
I
think they'll put up Raw numbers.
Yeah, I could see them going up by a couple 100,000, maybe 3 or 4 max, hitting that 1.5 million as kind of the max. As much as I think Adam Cole and Bryan Danielson can move the needle, I don't think they move the needle 1 million.
I don't think CM Punk is done moving the needle, and I think these just amplify it.
Mm-hmm. I just think for AEW to get over 2 million, I think that's going to be a cumulative thing over the course of a month or 2 or 3. I think they're going to get there. I seriously, after this, think like I read an article earlier in the day, and it was someone saying that maybe it wasn't even an article. Maybe it was someone from What Culture. Yeah, it was Andy Murray from What Culture, who said his prediction was that AEW gets Raw numbers within the year. And I thought to myself, I don't know if within the year is going to happen, sort of a thing. After watching this, I do see it happening. I just don't think it's going to be instantaneously this week, but it will be by the end of this. Because here's the deal: is it has to be combined with Raw continuing to suck. which I have faith that Raw will continue to suck.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, Raw's no longer beating SmackDown.
Nope.
Which is crazy.
I feel like that's been a while, though.
It has about 6 months.
But
wow.
Raw's numbers did come up last week, though. They did improve their numbers last week, which was surprising because it sucked. Okay, we're gonna move on to underhype of the night. This is one that, again, I think we could name about a dozen different chances on it because there were a lot of underhypes. Ruby Soho was not previously announced. That's an underhype. Adam Cole was not previously announced. So that's an underhype. Bryan Danielson was not previously announced. So that's an underhype. Menorah Suzuki was not previously announced. So that's an underhype. I'm
going to give it to a match, though. The Miro match.
That is,
that's actually.
My heart had not been on Eddie Kingston at all. I just was like, oh, okay, fine, you're gonna be the next one to lose to Miro. Nope. I was about it when it happened.
Mm-hmm. Yep, that was a good one. That was good. Yeah, I mean, because the tough thing with choosing a match, I'm not arguing with you, is that's about the only match that you could really say was underhyped, right?
Yeah.
Because the Britt Baker versus Chris Statlander,
they had hyped it. It was so leaps and bounds better than anybody would have expected with Eddie Kingston in it.
So.
I'd say the Moxley match, but they didn't really hype it.
Nope. I dang near would put that one at overhype of the night had other things not been on the card.
So
that was the match
I
itself.
think it wasn't
that
really
was
hype,
Moxley's. That was Moxley's probably second or third worst match in AEW.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
But I mean, I'll go with I will go with specifically Eddie Kingston out of that match as underhype of the night.
Yeah. Yeah, I did not expect him to put up a fight. I thought this was dang near going to be a squash.
Mm-hmm. I figured it would be a 5-minute match where Eddie Kingston gets a few things in at the beginning, hits the neck a couple times, and then Miro squashes the crap out of him. And the fact that it went almost 13 and a half minutes.
He hit that DDT, and I thought for sure he was going to win. I was like, nope. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I told you there were moments in that match. I was like, is Eddie Kingston going to be the champion? We only had one title change hands, and it actually was the one that almost surprised me the most. And I say that even though I think last night we both chose Lucha Brothers to win it. But
I said I wanted to. I don't know. I'm like, we're still going to be on this Young Bucks train for a while, I'm like, All Elite is still big, but super happy that it happened. Oh, it deserved it so much. It was awesome.
Yeah. It still surprised me when it happened, even though I think I chose it to happen. But so I'm going to go specifically with Eddie Kingston as the underhype of the night.
Yeah, that's fair.
So let's move on to the oh my God moment of the night.
The jump off the top of the cage.
Jeez, how many? Oh my
I don't
God
know, man. I'd say probably for me the spear, Christian spear from the table too. Maybe just because it kind of messed him up. Kenny Omega's freaking one-winged super angel from the top rope.
Yeah,
Bazonkers. So.
Oh wait, the only time I really talked on our group chat was, oh my fuck, because Adam Cole baby came on my screen.
Yes.
So I'll probably say that one because I really thought Daniel Bryan was coming out or Bryan Danielson was coming out, and I got Adam Cole baby, and I was like, Bryan Danielson was a letdown for me, but again, that's because I'm not a big Bryan Danielson fan.
He looked so happy, though. You didn't even feel his happiness and energy.
I don't want to feel his energy.
I don't want to feel his. I mean, wait. yeah. I can't say anything but the Adam Cole moment.
You have to remember, I'm a mark and a half for Adam Cole, baby.
And that's my point.
No, for sure. It was awesome.
Again, I cannot not say the Adam Cole because it was the one moment that literally had me stand up out of my chair, right? And so no matter how many other moments, Ruby Soho winning was an oh my God moment. Eddie Kingston getting out of the game over was an oh my God moment. Menorah Suzuki showing up was an oh my God moment. I mean, Ruby Soho debuting was kind of an oh my God moment. The Chris Jericho losing and then them restarting the match was an oh my God moment. The jump off of the top cage. in the cage was an oh my God moment. CM Punk sitting up to avoid the coffin drop was an oh my God moment.
Britt Baker's Pittsburgh Sunrise was an oh my God moment.
Yeah. Well, and Chris Statlander kicking out after it was an oh my God moment. And then
Statlander making Britt Baker boop herself was an oh my God moment.
There were so many oh my God moments, but only one of them had me literally fucking leave my seat and stand up and nearly scream and piss off all my apartment neighbors.
He almost went.
I fangirled out for a bit there.
I am absolutely shocked though that they were able to use everything from the Bebe to his actual Adam Cole. Like I'm like, oh my God, WWE didn't try to grab anything from this guy. Like I was like, you guys messed up.
Keith Lee still trying to get his own name.
Yeah.
That's why I thought it was a done deal. They had Adam Cole in the bag, baby. Like,
the only thing that I can think of is that it's a main roster thing. That because Adam Cole never went to the main roster, WWE
he was never a real star.
Mm-hmm. They never bothered to do it. And so it was only when Keith Lee went up to the main roster that they started to do shit like take his name and everything. So but like I said, that's the only one that literally got me out of my seat squealing. So it's Adam Cole. That's the oh my God moment. That's the holy shit moment. It's the Adam Cole baby moment. And like I said before, I mean, this is probably the closest we'll ever have to a Lex Luger moment right now, because literally he was on WWE TV a week ago, right? And well, yeah, like okay. Technically, 2 weeks ago was the last WWE TV appearance, but he was still a member of WWE a week ago. Let's put it that way, because it was 2 weeks ago that was the pay-per-view takeover.
Yep.
But his contract continued until the following Friday a week ago.
Okay.
So. But that's the deal. This was, and the matter is, it was the only one that wasn't previously reported as a done deal, right?
Exactly.
Like Bryan Danielson was previously reported as a done deal. Ruby Soho was previously reported as a done deal. All of this stuff, but Adam Cole, baby, we did not know was going to happen. We hoped was going to happen. We assumed was going to happen. But we did not know it was going to happen.
Money talks and bullshit walks, and so there was a chance.
There was always a chance that Vince McMahon presents a check with enough zeros on it, and Adam Cole goes, the only thing that it came down to is I do know that one of the things with WWE, one of the sticking points was Adam Cole was refusing to get rid of his Twitch stream. He says, I'm not going to get rid of my Twitch stream no matter what. And you can't, no contract you give me can say I have to get rid of my Twitch stream. It has to be in there. And if WWE was going to be adamant on the no Twitch streams, which they have been pretty adamant on most of their other performers, that was about the only thing there. But again, it was not a reported done deal. And so for him to show up was legitimately a holy shit.
And for all we know, he may still be a free agent.
Yeah, it might have been a one-off appearance. It might have been because, as far as I know, and I'll head to Twitter just to check to be certain. but as far as I know, they haven't put out a Adam Cole is All Elite.
Yeah, they did.
Did they? Okay.
I don't necessarily know if it was from AEW, but I saw a bunch. Adam Cole is All Elite, so I'll double check that.
I'm on it right now. Don't worry. I'm specifically on. There he is on the post media, post show thing. There's CM Punk on the post media scrum because they had released, I believe, there's Bryan Danielson is All Elite.
They have Ruby Soho, no problem.
They specifically had done Ruby Soho. Oh, there it is. Adam Cole is All Elite. Welcome to the team.
Boom.
So, boom.
But it's still. I mean, they still could have done a short-term contract. It might not be a long-term contract for all we know. We'll find out the deals of it as the media scrum gets over and things come out. But that's to me got to be my OMG moment of the night. So we're gonna move on to best move, and there were a lot of them that could be best move. The one-winged angel off the top could be a best move. The jump off the top of the cage could be a best move. The spear through the table that nearly killed Christian could be a best move.
Best move is Matt Jackson and Penta Cero El Muro doing the Cero Muro at the same time.
It was messed up though. They both looked at each other and they were gonna do it. They did the whole thing.
Like, you do it to my brother and I'll do it to your brother. Yeah, let's do it.
I was like, why aren't either of you helping your brother? You guys are assholes. Amazing.
I think it was more of a, if you do this to my brother, I'm going to do this to your brother. I'm still going to do it to your brother.
Yeah, well, if you do that to my brother, I'm going to do that to your brother.
But if you do it to my brother, I'm going to do it to your brother.
But no, if you do it to my brother, I'm going to do it to your brother.
No. I'm going to do it to your brother.
What? I'm going to do it to your brother.
No, I'm going to do it to your brother.
No, look at me. I'm going to do it. I have zero meta.
No.
Boom.
Listen, guys, just stop doing each other's brothers. That's it. It's done. It's done. No, too soon.
Oh, did you want some beard love? Is that what you're telling me?
No,
halfway in between, there's some beard love. Oh, no. See, now you got some marks over there.
No.
The beard love. Beard love.
Oh, you're in a beard love sandwich.
Beard love sandwich.
I don't know. I mean, part of me wants to say best move.
Hello, therapist. I feel violated.
Best move was Adam Cole super kicking Jungle Boy.
Let it go.
Maybe I don't know. God, there's just so many best moves.
Miro.
The jump off the top. It deserves nominating. I don't think it necessarily is best move because it was almost Botch of the night, but Chris Statlander saving that suplex, I think it was.
Britt Baker's apron stomp.
So many of those.
Darby going through the ropes and hitting the ring post.
There's so many.
The sit up is also really good.
The sit up. That might be my nomination for best move. Because it was so smoothly done and so perfectly timed. Like he was a millisecond too late. Darby would have caught his head
too. The camera work was phenomenal, where they slowly panned around and he's just smiling like, I got that.
But again, it's like if he just sat up too late, Darby would have caught his head on the way. But if he sets up too early, then doesn't sell the move properly because you think, well, Darby, why'd you still do it? You already sat up, So he had to do it just absolutely perfect, and he did it so perfect and so clean. So that's my choice for best move. And now I'm gonna say we move on to the final category, match of the night.
Ha! It can't be Adam Cole. It's a match.
It is not. Yes, because it has to be a match. God, this one's so tough. It's tough because there were so many good matches. I mean, the Kenny Omega versus Christian Cage match was fire. The Lucha Brothers Young Bucks match probably was most people's match of the night. I don't know. Like, there's part of me that wants to put Miro versus Eddie Kingston as match of the night.
Okay, calm down.
No, that was a great match.
It was fucking
not
phenomenal.
match of the night. Not match of the night though. Great match, I agree for them.
I will say, I think we can rule out Britt Baker versus Chris Statlander. I think we can rule out any battle royals ever from being match of the night.
Those never are.
No, and I think we can rule out CM Punk Darby. There was feel goods in that, and it was a good match, but it was not the match of the night. There was not. Oh my gosh! Wow.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, and that's it. I 100% loved the CM Punk match, and I'm gonna be proud about saying it. I loved the storytelling of the first half of the match being slower, being CM Punk slowing things down. I know JLB is given stupid faces, but
it's just my regular face.
Yeah, it is a stupid regular face. Wow. Your face is stupid.
But it wasn't
dick riding
the
on
best match.
CM Punk. Yeah,
I mean, you can flat out say that was not the best match of the night.
Yeah, that's the deal. As much as I loved it, it was not. I mean, the Kenny Omega Christian Cage match was better as a whole.
Yes. And the activity that happens in every Lucha Brothers match is where I put that as the top match of the night.
The only reason for me that one isn't match of the night for me, I think I'm gonna put it on Kenny Omega versus Christian Cage. That's the match of the night for me. But the only reason that the Lucha Brothers match doesn't win it for me is towards the end.
You don't want to be a sheep.
No, towards the end, there were a few too many of the I just got kicked in the face with a shoe that had spikes on it, and yet I'm going to be popping right up and delivering a powerbomb sort of moments or super kick moments.
It's called adrenaline, bitch.
There were just a few too many of them for me in the end. And it's a nitpicky thing, but it was just enough to barely make it drop below the Kenny Omega match for me. Because it just happened a few too many times. It's the complaint that people have against Young Bucks matches is that they turn into super kick parties and they turn into invincible fighters for a while where, you know, you can take a devastating move and just pop up and do another one and back and forth and back and forth.
Now,
that being said, I'm not
told?
saying it's a bad match. It's not a bad match. It's second best match of the night and just by barely. But
I think MJF and Jericho told the best story of the night.
Potentially, yeah. I mean, it's like I said.
Yes, after the bell, Adam Cole told the better story. But best story of the night in a match was those two. I mean,
so is that over though now?
Well, I mean, Jericho's not banned from the AEW, but
I think what I mean. He won though, so is MJF still gonna get pissed? And
I think MJF. I think the storyline you tell from this is MJF saying, "No, I want another match. I want to show that I'm still better than you," and Jericho saying, "Nah, we're done. I told you it was one last time. We're done. I'm done with you." You know, but
I also think that there's. Here's the deal. MJF is the only guy on the planet that is a better asshole than Zack Ryder than Matt Cardona has been over the last 3 months. But again, it's because he's genuinely an asshole. Like he is signed to the fat girl MJF on an autograph. Like, dude is an asshole.
Yeah.
And I don't know if he's really an asshole or if he's that into kayfabe.
He's just that into kayfabe, I feel. He could be an asshole for all we know, but
I mean, he plays the role in public, you know? Like it's not hard to see that Miz is definitely an existing pompous prick, but he's not an asshole. MJF's an asshole. And I don't know how else to put that. Like,
yeah. So, but I mean, in the end, it's probably one of those two matches as absolute match of the night. But you could make an argument for a couple other matches, and I can't tell you you're wrong. I can just tell you that I think another. You know what I mean? Like, I can't tell you that the Miro match wasn't like
super good.
If Meltzer's ratings came out this week and he had the Miro match rated higher than the other matches, I couldn't argue with it, right? I don't have any like logistical reason to believe one is better than the other, sort of a thing. I have a feeling that the Lucha Brothers match will not be his favorite match of the night, if only because of it turning into just a spot fest at the end. Right. And that has been his complaint against the Young Bucks for a long time. It goes all the way back to the reason they named their finisher the Meltzer Driver, is because he made fun of them for doing too many flip-de-doo spots, And so they said, "What can we come up with the most flip-de-doo spot possible? How about a pile driver combined with a springboard flip?" Okay. You can make an argument that the CM Punk Darby Allin match was match of the night from a technical standpoint. In some ways, you could make an argument that the Moxley versus Kojima match technically was match of the night, and I can't argue with it. It's not my choice. The only one that I think you 100% can't argue as match of the night was Paul White versus QT Marshall, and even that, for what it was supposed to be, was what it was supposed to be.
Well, I mean, at the same time, we were also talking about that QT Marshall might potentially be the one who was going to win that, because Big Show is just there to kind of do what we thought CM Punk was going to do, just lie on their back for up-and-coming stars. And honestly, I think that would have been worth it for the Big Show to do, although I know you hate QT Marshall. I still think having a win over Big Show would have had least... made him look a little bit bigger.
Big Show's Paul Wright is not a long-term performer. He performed in this match tonight. He won't perform again for...
No, but that's what I mean. So make him lose. QT Marshall's still going to be performing. So why does Big Show need a win? He's going to be performing every so often.
They could be writing QT Marshall off with this. You couldn't beat an announcer.
Yeah, an announcer that's 7 feet tall, 500 pounds, though. Like, come on.
Just saying.
That's fair.
I want to point out that AEW All Out is trending number 1 on Twitter.
Oh, yeah, it's been for like the past since it's been on.
Jericho's trending number 11. Darby's trending 12. Oh. Lucha Bros are 15. Kenny Omega's 22.
Adam Cole, baby.
Yeah, why isn't Adam Cole number 1?
Surprisingly enough, I don't know why, but he's not.
Daniel Bryan?
Not showing up on the. Damn. Not showing up on the trending list from what I'm seeing here. But I mean, some of it can be.
It's only been an hour and a half, and people watched the end of it and went to bed.
Yeah. Well, or also, there's not like AEW All Out was a setup hashtag, beforehand, right?
So people could be doing hashtag All Out or hashtag AEW.
Hey, I would actually go to the Explorer and I just click on the hashtag one that's there, and I'd use that. That's the way you do it.
But that's my point. But there wasn't one set up specifically for Daniel Bryan or Bryan Danielson or Adam Cole.
That's it.
So it could be that people are using a dozen different ones, and none of them are getting up to the level to trend.
But
no. So what I'm saying is, in the end, I mean, there's only two. Well, I guess two matches, because I agree, battle royals never should be considered for match of the night, because it's just too much of a clusterfuck.
Too much of a shit show. Yep.
They can be tons of fun. I thought this one was tons of fun for the most part. They told some good storylines. Like I said, I want to commend them, 100% commend them. I even wrote it down on my notes that I wanted to bring this up here. I want to commend them for not playing someone looks like they got eliminated but didn't actually get eliminated, and then they sit on the outside until it's almost over, and then they jump in and win the match, or almost win the match storyline. They didn't have that at all. There was not a single person in that match that looked like they were eliminated and wasn't eliminated, right?
No, yeah, pretty badass. I definitely commend them for that too. For sure.
Every elimination was a definitive elimination. There was never a moment. They didn't even really do any like Kofi Kingston skin the cat sort of moments. You know what I mean? It was tease someone to get eliminated, and then they get back in the ring, or just eliminate them. But there was never. So I want to give them credit, but I don't think that ever should be in the conversation for match of the night, technically. So, but all of the other ones: Miro versus Kingston, Moxley versus Kojima, Britt Baker versus Chris Statlander, Lucha Brothers versus Young Bucks, Jericho versus MJF, CM Punk versus Darby Allin, Kenny Omega versus Christian Cage. Those all could be considered for match of the night, and you could make an argument for them. I'm going to go with Omega versus Christian Cage, but I understand you guys going for the Lucha Brothers because it was a fire match, and my one minor nitpick was the only thing that took it down from being number one. So. But yeah, it's just a fucking great. I'm not gonna get to sleep for another like 2 hours. I'm so fucking jacked.
Oh this. Jesus! Okay,
I see like literally, my heart's still.
That's called cholesterol.
It could be the 12 of these that I've drank in the last, I don't know,
2 hours.
But, oh Jesus! Yeah, that'll do it.
It's only 34 milligrams per one of them. What is 34 times 12?
2 pots of coffee, bud. You drank 2 pots of coffee
in 2 hours.
Hashtag not sponsored, but quite frankly, this new Coke Zero Sugar is fucking fire. It's awesome.
But it's not that awesome because we're not sponsored.
No, dude. I'm still gonna say it's fucking fire.
So,
but
new Coke fire. Zero or Turks and Caicos, which one would you choose?
Well, I mean, it depends on what they're offering us. If Turks and Caicos is just like, here, we're gonna give you a shirt and sponsor you, but Coke Zero is like, we're gonna give you a fucking truckload of Coke Zero. But if Turks and Caicos is like, hey, we want to sponsor you and we're gonna fly you down for a week at Turks and Caicos, then fuck yeah. I choose that one. You know what I mean?
You do one weekend at Turks and Caicos over a lifetime supply of Coke Zero?
I didn't say a lifetime supply of Coke Zero. That changes the thing there. I just said a truckload.
A truckload is like 4 days worth for him.
Yeah, I told you I drank 12 of them in the last like 2 hours, right? A truckload's not going to last me that long. I'm going to be mainlining it.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Anyways, it was such a fucking good. I'm like the swerve, the Adam Cole debut, the swerve, the thinking it's gonna get over, the Bryan Danielson debut. It was fucking perfect in my book. Every bit of it was A+ for me.
Especially because that could have really went another way. To have 2 debuts like that back to back. That could have really have messed up a debut for someone, but with the swerve happening with Adam Cole, that really perfect, you know. Oh, but who's gonna help? Who's gonna help All Elite? You know, they could have ended it too. NWO style, you know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I just wish they would have had a few more big guys.
I'm gonna let Impact Wrestling get Braun for glory, and they'll be fine. But no, it was like I would have given this pay-per-view an A rating if it had ended after the Chris Jericho match. And every match after that, except for the QT Marshall match, just added to that and kept it up there. So, I mean, this is an A+ pay-per-view for me. This is a 99% pay-per-view.
This is nearly WrestleMania 17 for me. It was that good.
It was fucking phenomenal. It was.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's up there. I don't know why I'm feeling a little way about.
I'm just muting him when he talks bad about it because he's gonna bum me out if he talks bad about it. Yeah, look,
you're muted.
He's still muted and he's still talking.
He doesn't even pay attention to the fact that he can unmute himself. There it is. Beard love, yeah.
There we go.
There you
yeah, no, I mean, look, I'm not saying it's a bad rating though. I liked it. I don't give it at 95 percentile sort of ordeal. It's a B plus maybe. I don't know, but I
JLB baby.
I just can't explain to you why I necessarily. There's something off for me. Look, aside from it, because look, Adam, I could easily say, oh, because Adam Cole and Daniel Bryan were there. Cool story, bro. Yeah, A++++++++. But before that happened, your rating was different. I'm referring to the actual matches and everything that we did have. For sure.
I'm still saying if this would have ended after Chris Jericho versus MJF, I still would have given this an A. This was an A pay-per-view all the way up through that, and then after that, it just kept going up and up and up. Right. So there's literally to me. Even the QT Marshall one, which, like I said, I didn't like the match. I didn't like the match. It wasn't my thing, but it did exactly what it needed to do, and it was only 3 minutes long.
Yeah.
And so it can't tank the rating enough to cover up for the fact you had Kenny Omega versus Christian Cage. You had the surprise at the end. You had the CM Punk match that I fucking loved. So A goes to A+, goes to A++, goes down to A+, stays at A+.
Fair. Still giving it a B+. That's it.
Yes. So so everyone knows that at JLB 420 has terrible taste in wrestling. So tweet at him right down there. At JLB 420 and tell him how horrible his rating is.
Or tell him how horrible and judgmental his co-hosts are when I do give my opinion. Because, they deserve to know.
Your co-hosts are great. Big Red I thought was a nice guy.
Yeah. Your co-host on the other podcast that you're cheating on us with.
No, you guys are great. Just fully judgmental. Just
whore.
What can I say? I like to whore myself around. It's exciting. Hey, if anything, he's a whore too. He's the one that comments.
He's out there even designing merch for them.
To be fair, I'm also using that for my portfolio. You like to do the design, so I don't want to take that away from you.
Did you design them a Sasha Bear shirt?
Sure didn't. Nope, sure didn't.
Oh, gee golly.
Anyway, so yeah, that's our night, and fucking I loved it, and I'm so fucking stoked. And I'm gonna probably go downstairs and see if the replay is already up on Fight, and maybe watch some of it. Or because I'm not.
Yeah,
I'm not
I definitely want to
watch.
watch. I definitely want to watch that cage match again. Whew. That was fire.
And I cannot wait for Wednesday. I literally cannot wait.
For sure.
It's going to be fire. I don't know what else they can do. I mean, because reportedly they're still working on going after Buddy Murphy, although he might be going to Impact or Impact might be trolling us. I don't know. And so that might be an option. There's still other free agents out there that still could show up. And, you know, we mentioned AEW All Out is kind of like AEW's WrestleMania. It's their biggest show. Well, what often happens on the show immediately following WrestleMania?
We're going to have a brand split, playa.
Well, they have people return. They have big returns and big debuts immediately. So we could potentially still have some big returns and some big debuts, right?
I don't know. I don't think you're going to see anything within the next. It's a lot, man. That's a lot of debuts already. Like
it sure
I'm
is.
down
but you
for
know
it,
what?
I guess. But damn,
when you're leading a race, you keep your foot on the gas, right? These debuts are feeding the fire in AEW and keeping your foot on the gas as much as possible. Now that being said, like Buddy Murphy or Matthews debuting in AEW, it's not going to move the needle like a CM Punk, like a Adam Cole, like a Bryan Danielson. Those all move the needle a lot more than he would. You know, Braun Strowman showing up, if he does, I don't want him to, but if he does, that still doesn't move the needle quite like the other three that showed up. Whenever Bray Wyatt can show up, that could potentially move the needle depending on how AEW uses him.
for sure.
He's the one that I'm kind of, to give my kind of analysis, I'm the most worried about because he's super talented, he's super creative, but he also has the biggest potential to be a bust. You know what I mean? Depending on how he's used.
Yeah.
And so hopefully they can use him right. Hopefully he grows some of that beard back out because dude looks like a potato without a beard. Anyways. But on that note, we are going to kind of wrap things up for this podcast because I don't know what else we can talk about this fucking absolutely fire pay-per-view.
Go watch it.
Yeah, go watch it. If you haven't watched it, watch it. Get it on Fight or Bleacher Report or PlayStation Network or fucking
pay-per-view.
Well, they have it on
pay-per-view.
pay-per-view. Yeah. I actually, a customer at my job actually had ordered it. Like, hi, I'd like to order the AEW All Out. I'm like, huh? I'm like, it's on pay-per-view now?
Mm-hmm. AEW has always put theirs on actual pay-per-view as well. Because,
oh, really?
You know,
I thought that was a new thing. I thought they just had it on like Fight or.
Nope, they've always had it on actual pay-per-view, which is why buy rate is such an important thing for them. But anyways, make sure to head down to the doobly-doos and check the links for all of our stuff, our Patreon, our merch store. We had one yesterday showing off some of our merch designs again. And so go check out the Sasha Bear shirt because
buy
I'm
it
super
as
proud
soon
of
as
it.
you can.
Or the Pissant Podcast. That's one of my favorites. In fact, I'm thinking of buying a hat for that to wear to the Zello Pro instead of this hat. Because I'm pretty proud of the Pissant Podcast hat as well. So I might be wearing a Pissant Podcast hat and a Sasha Bear shirt to Zello Pro. Anyways, but head down there to the doobly-doos to find all that. Find the links to tatansco.com so you can check that out. All of our socials, the merch store, all the places you can listen to us. If you joined us for the live stream, thank you. If you're watching us on replay, welcome. Thank you as well. Make sure to click that subscribe button. If you're on YouTube, subscribe and hit the bell so you get notified. We go live every Sunday night and Tuesday night as we talk the world of professional wrestling. Share this with your friends and family. Follow us on Facebook. You can follow us. We're at our page, Raw and Order WBU on Facebook. Follow us on the Twitter. You can follow me on pretty much all the social medias at Raw and Order WBU, just like it says right down there. You can follow DA Fabe at
DA Vincent K. Fabe, right there.
There,
Yeah.
so
There we go. Down there. Now you can see it. Yep. That works.
And you can follow JLB at
JLB420. Real Talk Radio, though, guys, is the brand at Real Talk Radio 8. I guess I will also plug the other wrestling podcast I am on at WTN Wrestling.
Slut.
Just, yeah, I'm a slut and I'm proud of it. And yeah, but anchor.fm/RTR. For all Real Talk Radio stuff, I just watched Respect by Aretha not by Aretha, but the biopic on Aretha Franklin, and I have a lot to say about that because I thought it was crap. Why was it crap? You'll have to listen to the podcast to find out. Guys, All Out was great. Just because my rating was an A++ doesn't mean I didn't like it. I certainly enjoyed it. And I am excited for Wednesday. I'm excited to skip over Monday and go straight into Wednesday. So,
yeah.
Boom.
Yeah.
But
must not be new episodes of Big Brother, huh?
Yeah.
Big Brother's on Wednesday. Yeah, exactly. I missed my Big Brother episode tonight. I know what I'm doing after the cast. Thanks for reminding me, good sir.
You're welcome.
On that note, we will go ahead and close the book on this podcast. It's not really a wrestling booking unit, but whatever. So thank you all for listening, enjoying us however you enjoy us. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe, and we will see you soon.
Adam Cole, baby!
Boom.